Yeah. Like,
Quick question.
Got
And it's
it.
one of those things like people don't, it's something they don't think about, but this is the first thing they do.
All right.
Bang that, you wanna bang
That's
that?
for sure.
No, I want to do that.
Yeah,
one of
the
these
first
days.
thing that people like to
I have my count test right.
Nobody heard us. The only time I've
No, you
ever
do
done
it harder.
Do it.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Board of Ed meeting. Our clock is not working. The date is Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. Happy New Year, everyone. But before we start, we have two changes to our agenda that we'll be voting on. I move to amend the agenda to add an item titled Blue Path Update with Lenny under Communications, as the matter requires timely consideration. This motion requires a 2/3 vote. So can I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? That motion passes, so he's on our agenda. A second motion is a motion to add an action item connected to the discussion of item 4B for voting to accept the recommended vendor chosen by the Advisory Building Committee. Again, I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? That motion passes, so now we can continue. So I would appreciate that you turn off your cell phones as this meeting is being recorded. Ellen, can you please do our roll call?
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Ms. Callan Carson,
Present.
Mr. Carey, Ms. DeBacco,
Present.
Mrs. DeRoberts,
Here.
Mrs. Drew,
Here.
Ms. Gold,
Here.
Mr. Riley,
Here.
Vice Chair Mr. Lacavoli,
Here.
Chair Mrs. Granato,
Present.
and Weathersfield High School Student Representative Ms. Anushka Gandhi.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. And can I have Jen Miller, our new Assistant Superintendent of Schools, please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. So I guess we'll get started right in on public comment first. So is there anyone wishing to make a public comment? Please come on up to the podium and state your name and address. And may I remind you that public comments are limited to 5 minutes. And another reminder, board members do not make comments immediately following a resident speaking at the podium. Thanks for your understanding. So anyone? Okay, so, oh, thank goodness, okay.
We know her.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carolyn Fazina. I live at 19 Fairmont Street. I'm also the Director of Enrichment Programs for the Keene Foundation, and I just wanted to come and use a quick 5 minutes to give you an update. Sorry, no cute kid pictures today, but I promise to come back and give more in depth. I just wanted to let you know that after-school programming opened on January 7th. Within the first minute, we had 57 registrations, and within the first 10 minutes, that number climbed to over 100. As of this afternoon, there are 837 enrollments in after-school programming across all the elementary schools. I just wanted to let everybody know, and hopefully people are watching, that we do still have availability at every elementary school in our programs. I'd like to encourage families to review the Parks and Rec brochure with their children to see if there's any programs that sparks their interest. The brochure can be found on the Parks and Rec website. Also, I want to make sure I say that we do have financial assistance available. Information on how to contact us is found on each page of the brochure as well. I just want to give a quick reminder, which you probably all know, and I'm sure are very excited about, but we will once again be offering 5 elementary school musical performances in the spring, 1 at each school. This is sort of just like a save the date, and I'll give more again. But we have Highcrest students have been rehearsing since early December, and their show is early, so they started rehearsals early. They are going to be performing The Wizard of Oz, and that show is March 13th and 14th. And then we take a bit of a break, and then Charles Wright starts our performances over again on April 24th and 25th with Finding Nemo. And then we pretty much every weekend after that. The next weekend, May 1st and 2nd, will be Hamner and Shrek. The weekend after that, May 8th, will be Seussical at Emerson. And finally, Webb students will perform Annie on May 15th, 16th, and 17th. And since he's here, I'm going to give Lenny a little shout out. He is starring in our musical this year. And that musical actually is over the max at 33 students, and I have a feeling that Lenny might be one of the reasons why. So we're very excited about all our musicals. I encourage you guys for everyone to come and attend. You will be amazed at the skill of these students. And also, Gabby, I think, is going to be helping out one of the musicals too, so we're excited about that. We will be posting more information about dates and times on our website, and everywhere we'll be sending some stuff out through the schools, so you'll have times for all those as we get a little bit closer. So with the importance of play, screen-free time, and hands-on learning very much on everyone's minds, we are proud to continue to offering a wide variety of after-school and in-school programs that allow students to learn and have fun in an unplugged, interactive way. Andrea Glico, our keen on hands-on learning instructor, has already visited all 2nd and 6th grade classrooms and will begin working with 5th grade next week. By the end of the year, at the end of the school year, this program will have reached every elementary school classroom in the district. This initiative continues to provide science-based hands-on activities aligned directly with grade-level curriculum and NGSS standards. Overall, our hands-on learning programs play an important role, in supporting students beyond the traditional school day. They provide safe, engaging environments where children can explore interests, build skills, and connect learning to creativity and play. Again, I'm always grateful for the continued support of the board, the school district, Parks and Recreation, and our community, school communities, which allows us to offer these meaningful opportunities to so many students. So thank you very much. Good to see you all. Keep a lookout. Have a nice night. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we'll move on to our student and staff recognition tonight. And I understand our guest is already here. He's kind of laying down on the job. Come on up. Sorry. Oh, he's beautiful.
Hello, board, and hello, guests. My name is Kirsten Giliberto. I am the foster mom of Lenny, and I also brought my daughter, Sophia Giliberto. She was very excited to join tonight, so thank you for having us. We are very proud to be the foster parents, and our main goal tonight was to share the very clear impact that Lenny has made on hundreds of kids and adults in the very short time that he's been a part of Wethersfield Public Schools. And none of that could have been possible without your approval, so we are very much appreciative of that. We're also appreciative of the Kuthman family who has made this possible. But today, I didn't want to spend time talking too much about our personal experience. I'll let Sophia share one little thing about how she's feeling about Lenny, but I want to talk about his impact directly at Webb School and how important these facility and service dogs are to communities and to our students' growth. Sophia, you want to share one thing about Lenny and how you're happy that he's part of our family?
I love Lenny so much.
Is he a good doggy at home?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very good doggy at home. So I'm excited to introduce Lilia and Kiernan.
Introducing Lenny, Webb's Therapy Dog, by Lilia Grabowski and Kiernan McMahon. Get to know Lenny.
He is trained not to bark.
He was trained at Blue Path Service Dogs, where he spent 3 years learning his commands.
He loves being a pet and eating treats.
His nickname is Lazy Lenny.
He greets students in the morning and throughout the day.
Most of all, he is a big part of our school community. Get to know Lenny.
He started training when he was a little puppy at Blue Path Service Dogs.
His handlers have a special schedule set up so that he can spend time with kids at Webb this year.
He wears his vest when it's time for him to work.
Webb students have a special training to understand how to work with Lenny.
He loves treats, belly rubs, and going for walks and playing. He also learned the difference between work time and playtime. Lenny's job.
Lenny is a therapy dog, and he is specifically trained to work with kids of all ages and ability levels.
He is really good at making people smile, making them feel calm and safe, and knowing he did his job well. That makes him happy.
What does a therapy dog do?
He helps students who are feeling big emotions, and when people don't feel safe, Lenny will be there.
He loves to listen to students read to him, but he is especially good at reading kids' feelings and bringing them joy and calmness, whether they're feeling happy or sad. Also, there is one thing you can count on. He will always be there for kids. How does Lenny help us?
He loves to help students with their schoolwork. He is always ready for help. Students stay calm while doing their work on tough subjects.
He loves reading and listening to stories. You can talk to him, write to him, and sing to him. He loves helping everyone learn. Some students go to tutors, and if they're having trouble, they can go and pet him. Also, when I was really sad one day, Lenny was there for me and made me feel calm and happy. What else does a therapy dog do?
He loves helping students at Webb School. Sometimes kids need help getting to their classrooms, so students may be walking with him and his handler. If students are showing Lenny to their class, you can just wave to say and say a quiet hello. Meet Lenny's handlers.
Lenny has been specially trained to listen and take commands from his handlers, Miss Giliberto, Miss Johnson, Miss Juvenville, Mrs. Henry, Mr. V, Mr. Craig, and Miss Lestrinelli.
Please don't give Lenny commands. His handler will ask him to do something like sit or lay down. When students give him commands, it is very confusing for him to know, because he knows he is supposed to listen to his handlers.
Superintendent has to learn that rule, girls, because I always break that.
Respecting everyone's decisions.
Some students may choose not to visit with Lenny or may not want to pet him for many different reasons. That's okay. Some of his friends will be happier just watching his interacts with others, and that's okay.
It's important to respect everyone's decisions.
Lenny is so happy to be working at Webb Elementary School. He is also excited to become friends with everyone in Wethersfield. Love, Kieran,
Lilia,
and Lenny.
And as one matter of business, this is official. Today Lenny got his badge. So, we're gonna make this official. He's officially the newest member of our staff. Lenny the facility dog. There you go.
Lenny did officially report to the HR office today.
He has a file.
What
union does he belong to?
Go a walk
He's
behind
unaffiliated.
chairs
I
and
would
say
love
hello?
for you to.
Any questions about Lenny or?
Any comments or questions?
Yeah, I don't have any questions. Just a comment. Thank you all for coming tonight and sharing with us how Lenny interacts with the people in your school and the children. Thank you for your presentation tonight, girls. It was excellent. You should be proud of yourself for getting up here and presenting to the Board of Ed. You did very well. I remember when Principal Craig came here that first night to introduce us to the thought of having a dog in the buildings, and we were semi-split on it. We had so many questions for him and the gentleman from Blue Path, and looking back on it, I now feel shame for actually asking these questions and even questioning why are we having a dog in this school. It sounds awesome, so thank you.
I purposely picked this meeting because it was actually a year ago. 1 year ago. Yep.
Anyone else, Janice?
Yeah, I also have to really praise you girls for getting up and doing all that reading in front of all these people. I know probably even as a teenager, I couldn't have done that, so I really admire that. The other thing is I just happened to be reading today in a teaching journal about how students who have had social emotional learning do better academically. So I'm really fascinated and really feel very confident about the results that we're going to see with Lenny that way too. This is like another deeper step with the whole cell. So I'm excited about this. This is great. Thank you. And thank you for being a handler. Thank you. We really appreciate that.
Jim?
Lenny, let's go.
Thank you so much for coming today and presenting. I think this is a great idea. I believe over in the Eastbury School in Glastonbury, there are 5 dogs. So they're doing a great job, and also I think certainly it's for the students, and the teachers probably won't mention, but it's also for them and the administrators and everybody else. So I think it's a great addition, and hopefully we'll be adding more of these so that every school has one. Thank you.
Hope to see that. Anyone else?
I just want to give kudos to the web community because I know this was a really big haul to plan this, fundraise for it. And when I first heard the plan and the idea, I was like, that is just so much work. And is this possible? And all these things. And just being a former PTO person myself, knowing how much time and effort it can take to raise money for these things. And just also be focused because people come and go from these meetings and just keeping up that fundraising. And then also, I'm so impressed by the number of handlers because that involves training. Can you talk to that about how the training was for you?
Sure. So, excuse me, girls. I'm sorry. I'm going to be on the microphone. Blue Path trained initially Mrs. Johnson and Miss Jubenville traveled up to New York, where Blue Path is located in right off of Route 84, across the border. So they trained there for 3 days with Mrs. Giliberto as well, who was being trained a little differently as a handler, but also as a caretaker. So that was a little bit more of intensive training by Mrs. Giliberto. So those 3 went and trained. And then Brittany, who is amazing at Blue Path, came to Webb every Tuesday for a month and helped us add additional trainers. But it's a fine line because you don't want too many handlers because then Lenny gets confused when he sees everyone in the hallway, not knowing who's in charge of him at that moment. So it's really striking that balance of finding handlers that will be able to utilize him the best way at school. For that reason, classroom teachers were very interested, but they're not the best choice to be a handler because they're tied to their classroom during the day. So we chose social workers, school psychologists, reading consultants, people like that that can be around the school.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on your new addition.
What did you say? The dog was here.
Figured, yeah.
Oh, I need the picture too. Girls, can you come over? We'll get a picture over here.
That's wonderful, yeah. That's great.
As they're doing that, I just have to comment, I am an animal lover, and animals and children are a great combination. And, you know, it's controversial to have them in a classroom, but the connection children immediately make with an animal is fascinating to watch. So I'm so happy this happened.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your support, everybody.
Good job, Ken.
Yeah, thanks.
We've never had such a celebrity.
So what's next?
We have a puppy. It's like,
I
how does
know.
it get better than that?
Bobby, we had cupcakes and then dogs. What's next? Pressure, but you know,
You're back. Good job.
we're expecting a lot.
Let's
next
try
month.
a turn. So where are we going here now? Where are we going?
Going over the
Now we're
top.
going to the reports and discussion items.
Right here, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Communications
We're
for
going to
her.
communications.
Yeah, I literally thought it was you for a second.
Okay, that was great. All right, continuing, so in our new workshop model that we're working on tonight for the first time, the Board of Ed committee or committees will be meeting at 6 o'clock for the first meeting every month. The public is invited to all our committee meetings, but we cannot participate according to policies. Tonight, our HR committee met. Gabby DeBacco is the chair of this committee, along with the members Janice DeRoberts, Matt Lacavoli, Jim Riley. Our superintendent, Mr. Wibby, was there, and our new assistant superintendent of schools, Jen Miller, too. So Gabby, want to talk to us about our meeting?
Yes, so since it was our first meeting as a Human Resources and Personnel Committee with the newly elected board, we really just went over the high level of responsibilities and upcoming schedule for collective bargaining negotiations as this committee is responsible for. So we went over kind of the role of board members in negotiations, the connection to negotiations with our annual budget, and our upcoming negotiation schedules. Coming up in the next school year, we have the CSEA/SEIU Local 2001 CTW, so the Secretarial, Clerical, Paraeducator, and Tutors Union, the Wethersfield School Nurses Association, and the Wethersfield School Administration Association coming up in this next school year. And then discussed kind of next steps for this committee and our responsibilities here. And we will be scheduling kind of more of an orientation session for our committee to review the negotiation parameters, some ground rules, district financial projections, comparative contract data, and legal requirements and timelines.
Okay, we can have a discussion. Anybody have any questions for our HR chair or their committee, or any other added details about the meeting? No? Okay. Usually we will have two committees. Tonight we just had one, though, as we're getting started. Thank you, the whole committee, thank you. Continuing along, at tonight's meeting we have two reports. And the first one is, standards and benchmarks for district operations in our DRG comparisons on charts. So I guess this is you? Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I bring the board's attention to reference item number 1 in the board packet. It's called Standards and Benchmarks for District Operations. Just want to talk to you a little bit about this document, and I'd like to take you through the 12 various benchmarks. So as we begin our work together talking about budgets, I think it's important that we start our conversation connected to district-wide benchmarks. What we'll be kind of taking a look at here will be future dashboard type items for us to think about as we're looking at the budget. I think the following standards serve as great benchmarks to look at and think about. It serves as a formal reference document outlining minimum conditions required to sustain high-quality services and operations. The benchmarks span the range of instructional quality, staffing ratios, mandated services. They work to help us maintain compliance with state and federal mandates, program performance indicators, facilities and operational requirements, and they help us make sure we have consistent program delivery across. All 12 of these benchmarks come directly from the Connecticut State Department of Education report cards and dashboards. And I feel horrible because our brand new assistant superintendent of schools, I took some vacation time over Christmas, and she went and gathered all of the data for this. So I kind of feel like an Ebenezer Scrooge as I was home enjoying the holidays. Assistant Superintendent Miller was gathering the data for us from the State Department of Education. So just kind of in referencing this memo before we get the budget season started, it helps make sure that our fiscal decisions are grounded in clearly articulated, board-approved standards rather than anecdotal needs or year-to-year fluctuations. The benchmarks contained in this document clarify the operational realities that drive resource allocations, class size expectations, staffing ratios, intervention and support structures, compliance obligations, mandated service levels, program needs with fidelities. All these things are reflected in these types of benchmarks. They also provided a transparent framework for understanding why certain investments are necessary, how they align with district priorities, and where adjustments may be required moving forward. So as we kind of move forward, and we'll kind of take a look at these together. I'll walk you through all 12 tonight and give you a little bit of an editorial on each one, as well as an explanation of what they mean, because some of them are created. So we'll kind of jump down into the chart called DRG-D Comparison 24-25.
Oh, he is. Oh, good. Yeah. Glad you're doing a slideshow.
And while Jim's pulling down the slideshow, I just want to talk about what does DRG mean. DRG is our District Reference Group D. There's 24 schools that are deemed by the Department of Ed very similar to Wethersfield Public Schools. So it's a good group of schools for us to kind of compare ourselves to because they're similar to us economically, racial makeup, size. So a lot of those stratifications, there are several similarities between us and these 24 schools. You know, just to give you an idea, the schools are East Granby, Old Saybrook, Clinton, East Hampton, Stonington, Cromwell, Colchester, Waterford, Ledyard, East Lyme, Watertown, Rocky Hill, Branford, Berlin, North Haven, Bethel, Windsor, New Milford, Newington, Shelton, Milford, Wallingford, and Southington. So these are all what we would call DRG-D schools, very similar to us. And in each column, we also included the state average as well. I don't love comparing us against the state average because you're in there with lots of schools that are extremely dissimilar, but it's good to look at it just for benchmarking standards. So the first benchmark that I want to call to your attention is our student population. So Wethersfield Public Schools has 3,471 students, and you can see we're in a little bit more than the upper half of the size range. The smallest district in DRG-D is East Granby with 880 students. The largest is Southington with 6,200, and you see us sitting at 3,471. And you can see the state of Connecticut, currently there are 508,402 children in schools pre-K through grades 12 here in Connecticut. So it gives you an idea of how many kids we have, and it compares us to our DRG peers. The next one that I like to show as we go into budget season is per pupil cost. And as you can see, the lowest per pupil cost in DRG-D is Ledyard, and they expend $18,092 per pupil. So you're basically taking your full budget. If your full budget was $50 million, and you divide that by the number of kids, and it gives you a per pupil expenditure. The district that expends the most per pupil in DRG-D is Old Saybrook with $27,000 $652 per pupil. As you can see, Wethersfield expends $19,741 per pupil, and the state average is around $22,054 per pupil. The third column is the accountability index that you've heard me talk about in other settings. The accountability index is a very comprehensive set of school-based accountability measures that are not strictly connected to test scores. They include the arts, they include physical education, they include graduation rates, they include all of our high-needs learners, our EL students, our students with IEPs, our students who are on free and reduced lunch. And as you can see, the highest performing district this past year in DRG was Old Saybrook at 82.9. The low number is 70.3, the district that had the lowest performing. The state average is 71.8. Wethersfield sits at 79.2, which puts us number 8, which is in the top 33% of districts in the DRG. So just to kind of benchmark where we are comparatively. Taking a look at certified FTE, you'll hear us throw around acronyms a lot in education, and you'll hear us say FTE. That's a full-time employment unit. So FTE is the number of certified staff that we have. Certified staff includes all of our teachers, our administrators, our counselors, our social workers, anyone who's required to have a state certification in Connecticut. It's a very rigorous process to get certified. So the district with the lowest number of certified FTE is, again, East Granby, and that makes sense because they have the smallest number of kids. The highest number is Milford with 653. Wethersfield sits currently with 327.5 FTE. And you say, oh, Jeff, how do you have a half a person? And that just means somebody might be working as a half-time teacher. And you can see the state of Connecticut currently, there are 53,371.6 certified working teachers in Connecticut. There's way more certified teachers, but those are the ones that are currently employed by boards of education in Connecticut. The next one is certified staff to student ratio. Okay, so let me explain this a little bit. You see, Berlin has the lowest certified staff to student ratio at 6.96. So for every staff member, certified staff member in Berlin, there's 6.9 students. So it shows you how many students per staff they have. Berlin is the lowest certified, and if you go down to Watertown, they have the highest ratio. They have the most kids per certified staff at 11.25. As you can see, Wethersfield sits pretty close to the middle of the distribution at 9.03. This is a good benchmark because it gives you an idea about how your number of staff kind of match up with the number of kids. The next one is admin to student ratio. Okay, as you can see, similar ratio with certified staff, but now this is just with our certified leaders in district. Shelton has the most kids per certified administrator at 194 kids per administrator. Stonington has the fewest kids, 94.6 students per administrator. As you can see, Wethersfield is second. We have, which means we have a very high ratio of students to certified administrators here in Wethersfield. And the state average is about 126 per student. Shifting to the next page of benchmarks, take a look at what's called free and reduced percentage. So free and reduced percentages, the number of kids that you have currently that are receiving free and reduced lunch benefits. And you see the range is 19.1 on the low end of DRG in East Granby, and the highest is Windsor at 50.2. So about half of the kids in Windsor are currently at free and reduced, and Wethersfield sits a little bit higher than the middle part of the distribution at 26.4. If you take a look at our next column, it's our students who have IEP, are identified with IEPs. This is a great one to look at. Colchester has what we call a prevalence rate of 14.2% of kids in Colchester are identified with an IEP at the lower end. And then, did I skip EL? No. I'm good. I'm good. Windsor has the highest prevalence rate with 22.1. As you can see, the state average, all schools in Connecticut, the average is 18.5. So you take a look at Wethersfield at 15.9. We're identifying a lot less kids in special education than the state average, and we're in the upper tier of the DRG in that area. You take a look over in L, it's a very different, our EL learners, it's a very different story here. Stonington has the lowest percentage of EL learners with less than 1%. Branford has the highest number of EL learners at 12.2%. As you can see, Wethersfield currently has 9.9% of our learners identified as EL, and the state average is 11.3. As we look over, I really want to take a minute to kind of really praise Wethersfield. The next one is the percentage of kids who are identified as chronically absent. So chronically absent is defined by the state of Connecticut as having missed 10% or more of the school days. So if we have 180 school days, we have 182, but I'm just rounding. If you have 180 school days, anyone who misses 18 days or more would be identified as what's called chronically absent in Connecticut. So in DRG-D, the district that has the absolute best rate of kids coming to school as measured by chronic absenteeism is Wethersfield Public Schools. This is a great tribute to the Wethersfield community. It shows that the families and the parents in Wethersfield deeply value education and they get their kids to school. You know, it's like they say the old saying with the mailmen, you know, whether it's snow or rain or wind or whatever, they get the mail there. Well, in Wethersfield, they get the kids to school better than any other district in DRG-D. That's a tribute to our great families, and it's also a great tribute to our principals, assistant principals, guidance counselors, and social workers. When they see that a kid is not in for a particular day, a phone call goes, is everything okay? So this is a great measure of partnership between our wonderful families and our leadership teams. Taking a look at our suspension rates, we're exactly in the middle. The lowest suspension expulsion rates in the DRG is Old Saybrook at 1.9%. The highest rate is 12.7 in Windsor. State average is 6.8. And Wethersfield nestles in a very reasonable lower rate of 4.8%. And finally, we're going to take a look at what's called a return on investment ratio. So return on investment it's a measure that takes two of these indicators or benchmarks, and it does a mathematical equation with them to generate this ROI quotient. ROI, you take your per pupil expenditure and you take the number of points that you have on the accountability index. So for us, we have like 79.2 points, and we have $19,741 per pupil. And what you do is you divide it, and you figure out how much you pay a point. So here in Wethersfield, we pay $263 per point on the accountability index. What it shows is you're getting very good value in your school system here. The state average expends about 236. You see Southington has the lowest per pupil. They also have, one of the bigger student bodies. So they have a little bit of an economy of scale, and Watertown expends the most per point. So as your accountability index goes up or down, and as your per pupil expenditure goes up or down, it fluctuates in different ways. But it's a way of kind of looking at a return on investment. It's an interesting measure. I haven't totally wrapped my brain around it, but I like it's just a different way of assessing value, to the school district. So these are some of the benchmarks that I share with you as we kind of get ready for budget season in the coming months. It's indicators that you can kind of think of as the board is making budget decisions over the course of the February and March as well. And I'll pause for any questions.
Any questions or comments? No. Marjorie?
I was just going to ask, because I've looked up the report cards in the past, and sometimes there's a lag because it's based on information from like a year or two. Some are old and from old, and I wasn't sure. Is this, it says 24, 25, but it's last year.
This is based on the last year information because we just got the final data drops from the state in November and December. They don't even give us the accountability index until November usually. We might have gotten it once in October, but a lot of the data is held over. So this is based on last school year, 24-25. Marjorie, I did not say that, and that's important.
Right. No, I think a lot of people don't realize, like, sometimes you're looking at 2020, like last year you'd be looking at 2023 data, which it seems like a lifetime ago, considering COVID and all that stuff. But that's good to know that the numbers are reflected here, the most recent ones.
Some of these things we can get sooner rather than later, but it generally takes until November to get every single one. So you can't, you don't have the accountability index. You can't do ROI. Some of these you get as early as June. Like some of these benchmarks for this year, you get pretty quick.
Anyone else? Matt?
Yeah, I was just going to say I love this type of stuff, so I appreciate the work that went into it. Jennifer, Jeff, thank you for your presentation. I feel like with numbers and with data sets, and you can paint a picture, you can see where you're at, and then you can plan accordingly moving forward. And we're definitely going to use this type of data and other data as well, but stuff like this to plan stuff like our budgets and contract negotiations and basically just anything that we want to plan in the school system, right? I mean, some of this stuff, some of these rankings where we're at, I really like. Some I wish we could improve upon, but we'll get there. And yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate this presentation and the work that went into this.
And that's the attitude. Knowledge will get us somewhere. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Whibby. Thank you very much. We have another presentation tonight, too. We have the Advisory School Building Committee, their architect recommendation for the school building project. Emily Zambrella, would you come on up?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I don't have slides. I'll just wait for that for a sec. But I'm very excited to be here on behalf of the building committee. My name's Emily Zambrello. I'm the chair as of 1 month ago. So at our last meeting on Monday the 5th, we unanimously voted to recommend TSKP be hired as our architecture firm to design the new Highcrest, renovated Webb, and renovated Charles Wright. And you should have all received in your packets the same information that we had as a committee. So you have the the responses to the RFQ. You have the follow-up questions we asked, the responses we got from the 3 firms we had interviewed, and the fee proposals. So I'll explain a bit about the process we went through and why we settled on this recommendation. So the 3 firms that were selected to be interviewed were TSKP, Tecton, and Antonazi. They were selected from 8 applicants. And let me start by saying these are all capable firms. They've all done great work in the state and in the region, but we're obviously looking for the best fit for Wethersfield in this particular project that we're working on. The interview subcommittee conducted the interviews, and when the full committee discussed these interviews at our December 8th meeting, we ended up with even more questions. We wanted to make sure that we were really comparing apples to apples here and understanding all of the complexities and all of the different elements of these applications so that we can make the most educated recommendation to you all. And we appreciate that we have a responsibility to make a recommendation for a firm that will keep us on time and on budget. And we believe a key component of this is that the firm demonstrates that they understand the work that we've done up to this point and shares the vision of the town for what we're looking for in this overall school project. So we decided to ask 10 follow-up questions of the 3 firms to help us better assess their vision and see if it was a good fit for ours. The answers to the questions were illuminating for us, and it was then a unanimous decision to recommend TSKP. So after we got the responses back, it was down to Tecton and TSKP, so I'm going to focus on those 2. Tecton was the lowest fee, and we had to closely consider that, obviously, in the grand scheme of the cost of this project and wanting to make the best fiscal decision, but also considering the value that we get for that fee. So some of their responses to the questions we asked raised concerns with us that they may not be the best fit. I'm going to go through those quickly. Feel free to ask questions if you'd like to know more, but the first one was the exclusion of high crest demolition from their fee. We'd asked everyone to include that. They did not. The second was reduced project hours at Webb, which was significantly less than either Antonazi or TSKP had proposed. That influenced the fee as well. And the proposed project schedule for Charles Wright was not in line with what the voters approved in the referendum. So these points all also begged the question of, is the fee we're looking at truly this low? Or are we looking at additional fees in the future or potentially issues with staying on schedule if we're not all on the same page here, which raises costs in a different, bigger way? So overall, we didn't feel confident that we were on the same page and that this was going to be a good fit for us. So on the other side of this, why we did select TSKP, one of the biggest factors was their recent experience in Manchester administering a sequenced 6-school program, very similar to what we're going for here. It had 2 referenda as we're going for here. They did it on time, they did it on budget, minimal change orders, and it included restoration of historical school, which we know will come up in the next referendum. So that was huge. That's really, really valuable experience that we'd love to have in Wethersfield. They also reduced their fees by $600,000 without being asked. When we sent the follow-up questions, it seemed like they kind of read between the lines and said, we know you're conscious of cost and budget here. So we took another look. We were able to reduce some fees. So we appreciated that. They are obviously very familiar with this project. They understand the timelines. They understand the key goals that we have to make. They are able to give each school its own architect to oversee that particular part of the project while being supervised by Michael and Randall. They understand the big picture and how to make each element work together. They emphasized multiple times in their application and their follow-up the importance of Webb and of that key year of 2028 being so important in making sure this entire project stays on track and that every school gets the attention that it really needs. They were also the only firm of the 3 to include high crest demolition in their fee proposal. They understand and they're very familiar with the community. They know that these are neighborhood schools. They are not just buildings. They know that redistricting will be very difficult on families. They talked about that in their proposal as well and how we can ease that and bring families in and help them just have an easier time with that process. They understand that the community needs and wants to be involved in this process. We've seen that up to this point very clearly, and the community knows them as well. So we think that would just help with the transition here and understanding that they don't have to get reacquainted with anything. They also are familiar with the town. They've established good relationships, good working relationships with the school staff and town staff, which is a great start and makes us feel like we can really hit the ground running here. They also have, as you all know, they have a demonstrated record of success in our town. When they came in with the pre-referendum work, they said, we're going to work out a timeline, we're going to gather all the stakeholders, we're going to keep everybody on the same page, we're going to make adjustments if we need to, we're going to be very transparent and communicative and answer questions, and we're going to get this referendum passed. And they did all of that, just as they said they would. So we have every reason to believe that we'd be getting the same service. We also believe that their fee, while it's higher on paper than Tecton, is likely to be the most accurate and the least likely to increase because of the lack of exclusions and the adherence to our schedule. So we believe that while it's a little bit more, it's going to be predictable for folks. And it's, like I said before, it's really about the value we get for the money. So that was really important. And crucially, and I'll end with this point, the funding the voters approved during the referendum allowed up to 13 to 14% for soft costs, which includes the professional fees. So TSKP's fee is 4.7% of the total project cost. So that's typical for a project of this scale. That's about what we'd expect to pay. And it still keeps us comfortably on budget and with plenty of room to pay for the other soft costs that are going to come up. So for all of these reasons, we believe continuing to work with TSKP on this phase of the project is the best possible choice for Wethersfield. And I'll take any questions that you have.
Thank you, Emily. Anyone with questions or comments? Matt?
No question, just a comment. Thank you for your update tonight. Thank you for your work on this plan thus far. I know you're new as the chair of this committee, but this referendum and this plan isn't new to you. And I like that TSKP is not new to us either. We've built a rapport with them, and like you said, they know what they're doing, they know what's going on, they know what they're getting into, and they've proven themselves before. I really appreciate the fact that the committee was unanimous in their decision. I really do. That goes a ways. Thanks, Emily.
I just wanted to say, well, first of all, Emily's done a great job, even for the month, but you know, we've appreciated it. And Sally, she's also done a great job. It's a really great committee. We work really well together. And I was one of the people that questioned the budget with the numbers. And what came about was when you start looking and comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges, you notice that even though TSKP might be higher, they're actually more of a solid number versus Tecton. And one of the issues that I had was that with Tecton, they were basically bringing in their ideas and like cookie cuttering what they felt that Wethersfield had and wanted versus listening to what Wethersfield has already said they wanted. So but TSKP, they knew it, they've been a part of it, they've breathed it, you know, they were yelled at, you know, so like they know exactly what we want, and we want to make sure that we keep our neighborhood schools. And so they actually listened, whereas we felt that the other one didn't do the research that was necessary to see who we are, because we are not Rocky Hill, we're not Newington, we're Wethersfield. So that was mainly why I went for TSKP.
Amanda is our board member here, but she's also connected with the Advisory Building Committee. So I thank both of you. This is a lot of work. It really is. Thank you very, very much.
We're getting to the fun part now.
Yeah. Anyone else for comments? Jim?
I just wanted to know, maybe this is not entirely in the scope, is the project generally on schedule overall?
Yes, so the plan is still to start construction in March of 27 on Highcrest and have that completed by the following August.
Thank you.
Put a smile on our faces.
Yes, it's gonna happen.
Marjorie?
I just want to, I have a few comments, but I did notice as I was looking through the documents, you know, if you just look at the numbers, it's like, what's going on here? And then when you look kind of deeper, I think that every presentation, I would encourage anybody who sees the agenda online, you can click on the link and you can see all the presentations made by each the three of them. And they're all really good visually, you know. And one of the things I was impressed with was the questions that you guys came back to and sent out. They were very well written, and it just shows the work you all did. And after you kind of heard the presentations, asked some more questions, and they had to come back and give you more information. So I was really impressed with that work, and I just want to thank you for that. But I also, like, I know we're picking, you picked this one, but all three kind of gave you such excitement for what could be, and they all have done schools all over the state, and they have pictures of all the schools they've done over the state, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this could be our town soon. And I just think about Sally and all these people who helped with the effort, and Crystal, and then Sally Katz over there, and I just want to cry because this is so exciting that we're starting it once this is all voted on, and people can be part of it. People can be part of the planning, and if you have comments about what you want to see in your school, they'll be here for you to talk to, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very excited about proceeding, and I'm glad TSKP was the chosen one. So thank you.
I just wanted to ask, Sally, do you have anything you can offer tonight, or you just willing to do okay down there? You've done a tremendous amount of work on this too. Thank you.
Emily has given you the full picture of why the committee has made the recommendation.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you say starting March 27
March of 27, yes.
and done August?
August of 28.
28, okay,
Yes.
okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yes.
I was like, what? It's gonna be done that quick?
Right, it's not that fast.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Like best construction company ever.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
How many people are we working on this thing?
If anyone can do it, it's Michael Scott. Thank you, Emily and Amanda and everyone on the building committee. Those of us who have been very excited about this referendum for a long time are so happy to get to this point. And honestly, I am also excited that it's going to be TSKP. I think, like you said, Michael Scott has walked through the fire with us. And I love their equivalent of an HDC experience. I think that'll be really helpful. A couple things. I also really like how the responses to the questions really focused on a student's experience, especially in the hard moments when there's going to be a lot of transition. They talked about like the sneak peeks, and just they're very thoughtful about what the student experience of this is going to be like. And I think that's really important for us to keep in mind. Two things. Can you speak to how you guys have been thinking about preschool?
Sure. So preschool right now is set to go into High Crest. I believe it's 5 classrooms, but that's still, maybe, do you know more about the specifics?
Yeah. The initial schematic had it to have multiple classrooms, looking at the averages. And right now, Wethersfield is 6 preschool kids above what the average was going to be. So looking at those trends, the good thing is we look at those trends while we're designing.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have multiple schools, multiple classrooms, and the nice thing is that they would be clustered,
Mm-hmm.
just as they're clustering the other, but yet set apart if you look at the schematic drawings and their presentation, to where part of the school, part of the community, but still not, a little bit more to the right instead of to the left,
Mm-hmm.
I think. But again, that will also be driven a lot by community input, your input into their design.
And as I understand it, there wouldn't be preschool and web,
No preschool and web, because that's going to be a 5-6.
right?
Yes.
And then it's sort of a conversation to be had about anything further than that. Should anything change at the state level, funding-wise? Should we get more money for preschool? So just kind of putting that conversation out there, that's something that we can continue talking about as you guys.
As of right now, we know there will be preschool at High Crest, and there will not be preschool at Webb.
That's all we know. Yep. Okay, great. Yes.
Oh, no, continue. Thank you. Anyone else? We're going to take a vote, but I want to thank you again. This was
Thank
a
you
lot
very
of
much.
work.
I'm very grateful to be able to chair this committee. It's been a great group. Makes me feel like I don't have to know absolutely everything, because there's an expert in the room for everything we need to know. So it's been great so far. So thank you for having me.
Thank
you.
Okay, we'll do our vote. I make a motion that we accept the recommendation of the Advisory School Building Committee to hire TSKP as our architect. I get it all, Amy? Do I have a second?
Second.
Let's take a vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? That passes. Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so we'll continue on. Are there any board comments this evening? Anybody? Okay, then I'd like just to do, we have one down here?
Yep.
Go ahead, Mindy.
I was just going to speak to the WEC meeting that was yesterday. We had a WEC meeting. For those who are unfamiliar, we're looking at early childhood education and readiness throughout the town of Wethersfield. Trying to bring up my notes really quick. One of the things that we talked about was there's going to be formation of an ad hoc committee to look at the future vision of early childhood care and education, and there will be more information about how to, I guess, apply to be one of those committee members. So we'll make sure that that's, available. We're also an official LGP with the state, and so that's we got to meet our Shine representative yesterday, who helps us make sure we're adhering to the OEC and state guidelines. As an official LGP, we'll be doing a needs assessment as a town, and working with hopefully Data Collaborative, Data Haven, on that. And so we're just, as Kim Bobbin says, we've had sort of laundry all over the place, and we're really starting to sort it and make a clear, coherent strategy for the future of early childhood education in Wethersfield. So I'm very excited about that. Thank you.
Thank you.
State change, right?
The LGP?
Yeah.
It is a state change, yes. Yep.
Okay, anyone else? Marjorie?
I just want to report on a couple things from the WSBC meeting that we had last week. And it was the largest WSBC meeting I've ever seen, which was great. It was a packed room. You were there.
Standing room only.
It was. And what's they started to do is ask for guests to come in and explain something, a new topic or whatever. But then also more community members are coming in, like people from Bike Walk Wethersfield and obviously WEC. Kim Bobbin comes to, or someone from WEC arrives to report on what's going on with them. And so it was just a lot of people and a lot of good information. Makes for a long meeting though, But one of the things that is coming up in February, or two things. One is they're going to try to do a winter walk, because there's bike to school, walk to school days throughout 2 a year. One's in October and one's in May. And they're going to promote a winter walk in February. So that'll be good, just to get the kids walking to school, not biking, walking to school even when it's cold, and just to get more of that going. And also there's going to be an internet safety night for parents, and that's on February 2nd at the community center at 7 p.m. And this will be, again, I forget his name, Scott, Driscoll? Yes, Scott Driscoll, who's been a speaker at quite a few other internet safety meetings, and he is just such an expert in all these things, and he does a great presentation, and it's so informative for parents. And I feel like technology and phones and social media, and it's just a constant target we cannot put our finger on, right? And I feel bad for parents. I'm a parent that still is struggling with it with my kids, and they're growing, and that he is just a great resource. And I highly suggest parents go to get this information, and it really is just so super helpful about alternatives or ways that parents can control, or at least monitor what their kids see and are exposed to online. So look out for that. There'll probably be a lot more reminders, but.
Hey, thank you. Jim?
Just wanted to mention that I went to the High Crest PTO meeting last Thursday. They've got a tremendous amount of fundraising activities, and they were of course, keenly interested in the schedule for Highcrest and their new schools, so I'm trying to keep them informed on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say congratulations to the girls' indoor track running team. They were over at Yale University this past weekend, and the distance medley relay, they actually they broke a school record this weekend. So I'm on the Running Boosters Club, so I feel like we need to, give them a bunch of kudos, running around a circle. They deserve it, so.
If you can catch them. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I just wanted to summarize and kind of get the information out there about our new model for our board meetings. So tonight we worked on our first Board of Ed meeting with the new workshop model. So some details. Each month, the Board of Ed has 2 meetings, one on the second Tuesday and the next on the fourth Tuesday of each month. For many reasons, we're working a new format for the first meeting of each month as a workshop meeting. This workshop meeting starts at 6 o'clock. 1 or 2 committees will be in session here in our town hall. Residents are invited to attend our committee meetings. The policy on these meetings is that our residents are invited to attend, but there is no public comment. Following the committee meeting, then at 7 o'clock, the Board of Ed then meets here at the dais for a slightly different agenda with a focus on the committees that had just met. Now, our next Board of Ed meeting on Tuesday, January 27th, will start at 7 o'clock with our regular agenda. So I thank everyone on the board, our administration, our staff, and other residents for working this change. And I love this quote as we started this change. The secret of change is to focus all your energy, not on fighting the old, but on building the new. So I thank you all for our help in this, but we're not adjourning because I'm making a motion. Oh, wait a minute. Nushka, life at the high school.
Good evening, everyone. Here's a quick update of what's been happening these past few weeks at the high school. So the high school was recently recognized into the AP Honor Roll by College Board due to the amount of students who enrolled in AP courses last year, showing that our Wethersfield Eagles are continuing to challenge themselves in school. Last year, right before winter break, seniors organized and participated in a Christmas holiday event where they had the chance to watch Home Alone, participate in arts and crafts, play sports, and have some hot cocoa. To participate, it was mandatory that each student brings in a canned good, or $5, and we ended up making a little over $400 in cash and around $1,000 worth of canned goods that were delivered to the local food bank. And as midterm exams are approaching, students are in study mode, hoping to close out this semester successfully. That's next week. Additionally, in WeConnect last week, for more senior activities, we ordered our caps and gowns, so that's kind of exciting. On the athletic side, winter sports is off and running, with successes spanning across all teams. To wrap up last season's achievement, this past weekend, a couple football players were named into the CIAC All-State team, and boys soccer player Ramo Ahmedovic was named Game Time CT Player of the Year, which is an extraordinary achievement. Another exciting achievement that you mentioned earlier was that the girls on the indoor track team set a new world record in the distance medley relay. And finally, Unified Sports began last week and will continue to run once a week till next February. This February, I meant next month. The sport of the season is basketball, and I'm trying to help with that. It's really exciting, and we're really excited to continue supporting this inclusive and impactful program. And that's what's been happening at the high school.
Thank you, and good luck with the rest of the year. This is a nice time for you.
So
enjoy.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Okay, all right. We do have an executive session tonight, and I'll make the motion as soon as I find it. Where'd it go? Hold on. Yeah. Yep. So I make a motion that we go into an executive session for the discussion of school safety. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Thank you. and good night to everyone. Thank you all.
To bring this up.